Ever get this weird feeling like history is like on repeat?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we're reading headlines, but it could be straight out of Animal Farm. It's wild. Get ready, because we're about to unpack how this book, the one, Talking Animals, supposed to be for kids, is seriously relevant right now, more than ever.
It's like Orwell was hiding this brilliance in plain sight. It's simple, right? Animals, farm, revolution, but underneath, he's revealing these universal truths about power, about control. And the scary part is how easily we fall for it every single time.
And that's why we're here, doing this deep dive into Animal Farm. Not like your boring high school English class, but like, this is a warning, people. It's happening now.
Deceptively simple tale, but man, it's a stark warning.
Totally. Okay, so we're on Manor Farm, right?
Yeah.
Animals, done with Mr. Jones. I mean, who could blame them? They want better. Like everyone equal utopia stuff.
Classic setup. But here's what gets me. Orwell, he's so good. The animals, they aren't evil. Not at first. They want what's fair. And that's what makes the whole thing so creepy.
It's like watching those revolutions gone wrong, but in real life, right?
You got it. So they have these 7 commandments of animalism, right? And the big one, all animals are equal. Sounds good, yeah. But wait till those pigs get a whiff of power.
Ugh, the pigs. Napoleon. That's sneaky. Snowball.
Ugh.
Squealer. Talking about the OG spin doctors. Orwell nailed it, how power just twists everything, even good intentions.
And he does it with this allegory thing. Like he's weaving this whole other story under.
Yeah, so real quick, for anyone who needs a refresher, what's the deal with allegory? What's the real story here?
Think of it like a secret code. Every character, every event, it's all standing in for something bigger. Old Major, the pig with the big ideas. That's Karl Marx, the communism guy.
Wait, so when old Major's all, let's have this animal utopia.
Yeah.
That's basically the Russian Revolution, but with, like, hooves.
Bingo! And then comes Napoleon, our Stalin stand-in, using brute force to get what he wants. Poor Snowball, all those ideas, run out of town, just like what happened to Trotsky. Don't even get me started on the sheep, always blindly chanting slogans. Kind of reminds me of...
Orwell was onto something. He saw how this power stuff plays out.
Yeah.
Over and over. Makes you wonder, are we really any smarter now?
That's the million-dollar question Animal Farm throws right at us. It's more than just history. It's like, hey, wake up. See this happening around you right now.
Okay, but how does this, like, farm animal stuff apply to us today? I mean, what should we be watching out for?
Honestly, it's kind of scary how relevant Animal Farm still is. Take that whole power thing. Remember, those animals, they started out wanting good things, a better life for everyone. But once those pigs got a taste of power...
Yeah, they kind of forgot about the everyone part, didn't they?
It's like this classic thing, right? Power corrupts, and it starts slow, sneaky even. Like those 7 commandments, remember? It used to be no animal shall drink alcohol, and then bam, suddenly it's no animal shall drink alcohol to excess. Little change, right? But huge difference.
Whoa, it's like no one even noticed or cared. And those poor animals just stuck with it.
Exactly. And that's how propaganda gets you. And let's be real, it's everywhere now. Way more than back then. Think about Squealer, Napoleon's little propaganda machine, twisting facts, making up numbers, all to make the pigs look good.
Okay, now that you mention it, yeah, that's like all over the news, social media too. So much info. How do you even know what's real anymore? Too many squealers out there.
It's overwhelming, right? And it gets you right in the feels. Our brains, we want simple answers. But Orwell, he's like, hey, use your head. We got to question everything, especially when it's coming from the top. Don't just take it at face value.
So we have to be like fact checkers all the time. Oof, that's exhausting. But it's not just about controlling info, is it? What about all that economic stuff Orwell talks about?
Oh, you picked up on that. Nice. Those pigs. Living large. Fancy food, comfy beds. Meanwhile, everyone else is working their tails off, barely surviving. That's economic injustice, plain and simple. And it's happening all around us.
It's like that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. But on Animal Farm, only the pigs had boats. Everyone else was like underwater.
Wow. Yeah, that's perfect. It's that gap between the haves and the have-nots. It's growing bigger and bigger. And guess what? That's what causes all the unrest, the instability. That's how you get revolutions in the first place.
And that takes us back to this whole cycle thing. Oppression leads to rebellion, but then it just happens all over again.
By the end, those pigs, they basically became the humans they kicked out. It's depressing, right? Makes you wonder, can things ever really change?
So that's it. We're stuck in this doom and gloom loop. Is that what Orwell wants us to get out of this? Like, give up?
Well, it definitely makes you think, right? And yeah, that ending. Not exactly sunshine and rainbows, but I don't think Orwell's message is give up. I think he's trying to wake us up, like, hey, Learn from this. See these patterns, this manipulation. Don't fall for it.
So how do we actually do that? Like, what can we do?
It starts with paying attention. Remember those animals who were like, hey, wait a minute, this isn't right? The ones who thought for themselves, they had the right idea.
Be the one who asks why all the time,
Okay.
even when it's annoying.
Exactly. Question everything, especially when something seems a little too perfect.
And don't just sit there.
Yeah?
Hold those leaders accountable, you know?
Mm.
These freedoms, they aren't free.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We can't just be along for the ride. We have to make our voices heard. Orwell, he had this quote, right? Freedom is the freedom to say that 2 + 2 make 4. Think about that for a second. In today's world, where everyone's yelling at you, that freedom to think for yourself, to question the narrative, that's everything.
So basically, don't let the pigs, or whoever, tell you that 2 + 2 = 5, even when they make it sound really convincing.
Bingo. It's about holding on to those simple truths, even when things get messy.
And that's where you come in, dear listener. This isn't just some story, some book report, Animal Farm. It's like Orwell's holding up this mirror. What do you see? What are you going to do about
It's
it?
on all of us, the future. We're not just stuck with whatever happens. We build it with every choice, every action, and by fighting for what's true.
Boom. And on that note, we'll leave you with that to think about. This is The Deep Dive, reminding you to stay curious, keep asking those tough questions, and never, ever stop exploring.